in that first year and a half, I wrote one song that ended up charting number 6 on the Billboard International charts.
Whoa.
Which was like casual, like a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, that's amazing.
But at that time was when I was starting to pull back from the music industry.
Hey Voxstar, and welcome to From Singer to Artist. I'm Lara Chapman, award-winning singer and songwriter turned viral vocal coach and the host of this show. At VoxTape Studios, we help singers from all over the world level up their voices by teaching them the 3 fundamental skills all singers need: technique, awareness, and artistry. Whether you're looking to go pro or just develop your voice for fun, my team and I are here to help. Check the link in the description to book your first session or grab some of our other resources. Alrighty, are you ready? Let's get started. With me today, because I'm in awesome LA, Los Angeles, the land of dreams, I've got 2 amazing guests with me here today. I've got Coach Juliana from our team. Hello, hello. Hi. And very special guest today, we've got Rachel Siegel with us.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. I'm so excited to have you here. I've been following you on social media forever. Because you 2 are really good friends.
Yeah.
From what I can tell, at least. You pretend really well.
We hate each other. No, I'm kidding. I love her.
And so obviously I followed you forever because we work together.
Right.
You're a coach at VoxTape, and
yes.
you guys hang out and you make music together. And I'm like, who's this chick? So I checked you out, and then, I'm so glad that we were able to make this happen here.
Me
and
too.
Thanks for taking the time. So let's just maybe get right into your story, because we were just talking a little bit right before we started rolling, and I was like, oh my God, that is so crazy. So tell us a little bit more about yourself and how you got into this crazy world of music, singing, songwriting, being an artist, all of the above.
I grew up in New Jersey in like a super, super small town where my mom always jokes that there were like more cows and pigs than people.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Shout out to Blumenstein.
Wow.
Flowerstone. We always joke more cows than people.
Okay,
There
amazing.
you go.
So you get it.
I get
Sounds
it.
like a fun time.
It was
wanna go there.
good. So I just like started singing before I started talking. I couldn't shut up. I would be like just singing wherever I went. And my plan in middle school and high school was to go into musical theater. I loved being in a small town. That's kind of the avenues that I could do music. And so I just loved it. It was like a way to express myself, and playing these characters was so much fun. It was so magical. But I always gravitated to new musical theater and new musical theater writers. And so I would come home from high school and spend hours researching new musical theater composers. And then there was this talent show in my church where it was like, I don't know, I just had a song to write. And so I got with a friend of mine and I was like, okay, could we write this song? And I wrote and performed this song, and I just fell in love with songwriting. And it was just a full circle moment, but also the beginning of everything. And I all my plans changed for my life. I was planning to pursue musical theater, go to school in Texas, be on Broadway, and have my little life in New York.
Yeah.
But when I started writing, I was like, no, I could tell my own story. And it felt like this, it was so connected with my personal growth, and it was just something I had to do. And so I went to Berklee College of Music.
Yeah,
and
Berklee.
And I was just like, I'm going to become a songwriter if it's the last thing I do in my life. And I would write every day. I would blow off all the projects I didn't want to do. I would pay people in burritos to do my homework, which I'm not proud of. But I would just write and write and write. I would put myself in 3 songwriting sessions a day. And
wow.
I was just obsessed and incessant.
So was this at Berklee, where 3 songwriting sessions a day?
That's
all my
lot of
classes,
hours.
and in between classes, I would be doing songwriting sessions.
Wow.
I was crazy.
I remember when I was at Berklee, we just missed each other. But when I was there, they told us that only your classes that you're taking should only be about 30% of what you do at Berklee. You should be collaborating, songwriting sessions, and use the studio space and just do things with people there. So it sounds like you did a lot of that.
Yeah, that really was, I think, the most magical thing about Berklee was the people I met there. Because where else do you have like 3,000 people who are as equally as passionate about music as you are, you know? So that was so special.
Yeah, I do agree, because, you know, like music school, it's like the skills that you learn, like even for songwriting skills and singing skills and music business skills and all that stuff. In today's day and age, there's so many online coaches, you know, like us, where you can learn the skills that you need to succeed.
Yeah.
Anywhere. Like, you don't need to pay Berklee tuition
Totally.
for that, but it's the people.
Yeah.
Community.
Exactly.
so
And
important.
any skill is what you make of it and what you do with it. So you're completely right.
I mean, it was just, you didn't go to Berklee, but you went to MI here in LA, the Musicians Institute. That's where I initially wanted to go.
That's wild. It was like I wanted to go to Berklee, and I ended up in MI, and you wanted to go.
Well, yeah, I auditioned for both, and then I got into Berklee, and everyone was like, you have to go to Berklee because it's Berklee. And I was like, but I want to live in LA. I don't want to go to Boston. But anyways, ended up there. But I assume it was probably a similar experience for you, where the classes, not that they're not important, but it's the people.
Yeah, especially with the program I was in, it wasn't like a full 9 to 5 school schedule. So it was very much like very sporadic, and we had a lot of free time, and it was us just like in rehearsal rooms or just like writing songs or, you know, walking around Los Angeles, being inspired by everything. I think it's so fun to be somewhere where, like you said, you're surrounded by people that have the same drive and same passion and talent, and even sometimes like that, even just being around them makes you want to do it even more instead of just being home like, what do I do? Right? So
Yeah, but it can also sometimes be a little bit intimidating.
Oh, yeah,
in
for
the sense
sure.
of like, you know, like in high school, you're from a small town in New Jersey. You were probably the best singer at your high school, and then you go to Berklee and everyone's amazing. And it's like, oh, this is not going to be as easy as I thought it was going to be. Oh no. Did you ever have any of those feelings, or were you just super inspired?
Okay, well, honestly, like, I was really good in high school, but I was never the best, and I was never the one who was like, oh, she's our singer. So I always felt like the underdog. And so I was at Berklee, like, I was well known and well liked, but I also was not like the star singer. At times I hated it and regretted it, but I now am very proud, and I think it's benefited me in my life and career that I've always had to pick myself. That I've never had like these huge crowds of people being like, that's the girl who's gonna make something of herself. And I'm like, no, I'm the girl who's gonna make something of myself.
that's cute.
I think it would have been felt a lot easier and more fun if everybody was championing me from the start. But I'm like, oh, it's so cool that I got to learn to be that person for myself so early.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's gonna give you the longevity. Because like, what happens if people stop cheering you on? Right? Because now you're one of many. And, you know, it's LA. It can be a little competitive sometimes. Right? So, you know, it's like, well, what happens if nobody's there cheering you on anymore? Are you going to quit?
Right.
But because for you it was an internal experience. And the internal work that you did from day one, you're hopefully not going to run into that issue of like, I'm going to quit because nobody believes in me. Like, you know. So
Absolutely. Yeah, I feel very blessed to be so connected to that internal drive because there are a million opportunities to give up like every day. And LA is being an artist is a dime a dozen. And it really is, I think, the people who don't quit who win. And really learning to be connected to that like internal vision and finding out what you're committed to and doing that. That is gonna be the thing to make the difference. So I'm grateful.
Wow.
What do you do like on your day-to-day life or regular basis to keep that drive for yourself?
That's a
Asking
good
for
question.
A friend.
That's a good question.
We all need that.
I am the friend.
I make a lot of lists.
Okay.
I like to have a list of what I need to do and then break it down into like micro lists so I can cross a lot of things off. So even if it's like make myself breakfast, I'm like, oh yes, I did it.
Yeah.
And like, okay, sit at my piano. Yes. And it's not always that small, but whatever I need to do to motivate myself, lists really help me. Also like spending a lot of time by myself. I think I came here with a large community of writers and people I went to school with, which is such a blessing. But as time has gone on, it's gotten more solitary in some ways that I think have been good for me because I've kind of shut out the noise of what everybody else is doing. And it's like, no, what do I actually want? What actually makes me happy as a person? What actually like feeds me as a creative?
Yeah.
Like doing it the way other people have done it, which is so amazing, isn't necessarily right for me. And that was a long journey to figure that out. So I just think for me, the more connected I get to myself, and then like some of these goals are quote unquote impossible. So what are those like how small can I break it down so that it's things that I can accomplish, and then it fuels me to keep going. So then eventually I do reach these impossible goals, but it was one step at a time.
Right.
Basically what you're saying is you taught yourself discipline.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times I feel like, especially when it comes to songwriting, people are waiting for inspiration. And I'm like, well, sometimes you got to make it happen. Or when it comes to singing and practicing, we're going to talk about that later. When it comes to practicing, it's like, well, I don't really feel motivated to practice, so I'll do it tomorrow. Well, guess what? Nobody's motivated to practice. We just have the discipline. And when I say we, very loose term. I don't. Whatever, we'll get into that later. But it's discipline. And so you figured out that lists and breaking big goals into like just how small can you make each action step helps you with your discipline. And when you're in it, you feel so much more motivated, right? Because then the wheels are turning and you're doing the thing. It's the getting started part that's the hard part. And so if you can teach yourself discipline and you can keep yourself accountable, honestly, that is something that I struggled with my own career before I became a vocal coach. I was, doing music. It feels like another lifetime ago. But for me, why I loved vocal coaching so much was because other people depended on me to show up and do a good job, versus when I was the artist myself, it was like, well, it's just me, right? Like, obviously there were people I was working with. I had producers and co-writers and, all these different people. But at the end of the day, it very much still felt me. And if you are not super connected to your why and to yourself, and then it kind of falls apart pretty quickly, which is kind of what happened to me. No regrets. No regrets. I'm very happy where I'm at. A lot of people ask me sometimes, like, do you want to go back to writing and releasing music? And I'm like, honestly, no.
Yeah.
Not right now. Maybe that'll change again. Yeah. So maybe that was just what was supposed to happen for me. But like you said, there's a million reasons every day to quit. Like, why you should stop doing it, because it's so hard. But if you're really connected to yourself, then it's much easier to not. So I love that.
I think that's so cool, because what came to mind is like also really tuning into how things feel. And like we have these ideas of what we want, but then like, am I betraying myself to make that happen? Like, do I actually like what that feels like? Do I actually like the day-to-day life that requires? And the more I have slowed down to notice the way something feels in my body, the more I can actually do the things that there is energy to do. And then there's more energy for the things that take just like flat out discipline that I know I need to do, but maybe aren't as energizing. When I've stopped doing the things I don't necessarily need to do, but I felt like I had to do, but they weren't my things, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. things that you have to do. No matter what job you have, even if it's your dream job, there will always be things that you have to do that you don't want to do.
Yeah.
So what are some of those things for you where you're like, you're a songwriter, you're an artist, you're releasing music. What are some of the things that you're like, don't love it, but I have to do it anyway?
Well, one of them is like practicing like
Okay, yeah.
vocal warm-ups.
Yeah.
I love singing. I sing all the time, but that concentrated practice time, if I'm not necessarily rehearsing for a show, is a little bit hard for me. Sometimes I'm doing less of it now because I'm recording my own album.
Yeah.
But sometimes when I'm going into day after day sessions with people that I don't know if I jive with, that can feel a little daunting because I love doing sessions and co-writing with people when the vibe is good.
Yeah.
But there's always people that like maybe you have to work with or you just want to try it out who it's not necessarily the best vibe or you even if you didn't know it ahead of time, it just doesn't gel.
Yeah.
And that can feel a little daunting also.
Yeah.
And then another thing is like self-promotion. That's a thing. I know you can relate. That can feel also like a chore.
A little bit like a chore. I think that's
A lot like a chore.
Yeah, a lot of singers can relate to that. I think they're like, social media, I don't want to do social media. But, it's a way to share your message and reach people. And so you have to figure out a way to do it in a way that like you like doing it. But anyways, we're not here to talk about that. But
which I feel like you've actually mastered. Like you have done so well at marketing yourself and sharing your craft and your business on social media.
Thank you both. It's interesting because I hated it when I was the artist. When I had my artist project, Lumaine is what I was called.
Okay.
I hated social media because there was a disconnect again, right? Like I wasn't super clear on what my thing is and what I liked and what I wanted to do and so forth. And so it was a chore. It was a big chore and I hated it and I didn't know what I was supposed to do. A lot of just like not clear on the vision, And then I switched to vocal coaching and I mean, I did both at the same time for a long time. But when I went vocal coaching full time and, created VoxTape, it was so easy to do social media because I was like, I know what to talk about. I'm going to talk about this and this and this and this and this. And the ideas were just flowing. It was so much easier for me to do that as a business owner. Because, I mean, it's so weird because I identify more as a business owner these days than like a creative person, even though I am very much a creative person. Yeah. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here right now, right? So it's like, it's interesting. Yeah, it's just a completely different thing. Much easier as a vocal coach than as an artist. You're providing a service.
Yes.
Right? So it's less about look at me and more about let me help you.
Here's what you can do.
Yes. Yes, exactly. So I think that's the biggest biggest thing. So if we can like figure out how as artists we can create content that's about them, your audience, and not about you.
Yeah.
How what you're offering can help them. Stories, like I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, I did not figure it out for myself, so I am not a qualified person to talk about it. But that's just kind of like, what's the difference between the vocal coaching business and the artistry business?
That's an amazing idea and such a quest. Like I'm like, I need to think about that. Like how can I make social media not just about sharing my story or promoting this song, but like how can I relate what I'm doing to you? How can I service you through my music and my art? And that's a journey I'm on, but I love that.
Yes. Well, maybe now you have some inspiration, some sparks of inspiration, and I'll check out your new content.
Okay.
And I'll see.
Next week, we're going to have 10 reels.
Yes. Minimum.
I'll be so inspired.
I love it. This is a big question mark for a lot of people who want to do music full-time or just music in general, even if it's not full-time and you have like a part-time job or even a full-time job and you're doing music on the side, but music is your passion, right? Like, okay, you went to school for music. What now? You graduate and well, how do you actually go and do the thing? Because I love Berkeley, but they don't teach you how to now go and do the thing. So I assume you were in Boston, right? On campus. So how did you make the move to LA, and how did you get started? Like, what's that transition like?
That's a great question. It's wild.
It is, isn't it?
Wild. And like, there's no right way to do it, but I'll share what I did. So I came to LA. I wanted to move to New York, but I felt just like this call to come to LA. I knew it was what was right for me. So I shipped a couple suitcases, I packed a couple bags, and I came. And I had no job set up. I had a little bit of savings. I didn't know what I was going to be doing, but I knew I wanted to write. I started just like for the first year and a half, I just would go out and meet people, ask anyone and everyone to write with me. And I was putting myself in sessions just by my own volition, but I was scheduling a full-time schedule of songwriting sessions. I didn't have an artist project at that time, but I knew that like I am an artist who writes for and with other artists. I love doing both sides, and they're both like of somewhat equal importance to me. But at that point I was just focusing on like the writing, knowing that the artist side would come. So in that first year and a half, I was blessed to come out here with like a great network, and my friends were growing. They were signing deals. They were really able to push forward. And for whatever reason, I like knew that those steps were wrong for me. I was like, this isn't going to get me where I'm going. And so for me, it like created this tension where I was like, I'm so pumped for you. These are the dream steps to take, but it's not right for me yet. So for me, there was some separation. In that first year and a half, I wrote one song that ended up charting number 6 on the Billboard International charts.
Whoa!
Which was like casual, like a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, that's amazing.
But at that time was when I was starting to pull back from the music industry. I started I was teaching some songwriting privately. I was teaching little kid rock band lessons. And I started acting as a day job. And
well, sorry, but like, hold on, we gotta dissect this.
Okay.
Who can say that like acting's my day job?
Not cool.
You know, it's what I have to do to support myself. No, I'm kidding.
Whatever.
But, it's like
bills.
Yeah.
I work at Starbucks so that I can act.
Right.
You know, it's like usually the other way around. That is so fun.
And I was just like, but I was so ashamed of it because I wasn't, even though I was teaching, I wasn't pursuing the music industry professionally.
Yeah.
And in that time, I like wrote an album in my bedroom. I felt like I was totally failing, but I learned to like let more life in, which coming out of a school like Berkeley, which I'm sure like any music school, there was like this pressure that I had already aged out, that I like couldn't do anything else. It was just like this internal like, oh, I hate to say it, but like hopelessness in a way that it was just like, I didn't know I didn't know what was happening. And in that time, I just like learned how to let more life in and realized that like, actually the answer was inside of me. And by trusting myself that I like actually could listen to myself, and it was okay that other people's journey wasn't right for me. I was able to do things that like starting to act was like, oh, I can actually feel successful. I can actually like get hired for jobs and have energy to pursue my music instead of just doing like everything is trying and there's no ways to succeed. It just became a dynamic that actually empowered me. And that learning to trust myself has like empowered what my career has become. So then in the pandemic, I launched my artist project. I got back into writing for other people little by little. And I have this other part of my career where I work as an actress in commercials. And,
okay, cool.
And little by little build out a full picture of like a life that for me is actually fun to live.
Yay.
So yeah, I'm like,
That sounds so cute.
A life that is fun to live. I love that for you.
Thank you.
Trademark that.
Yeah.
Right now.
And not saying that like there's so many places that like I want to get to that I have yet to get to.
Of course. Yeah.
But like it's cool to be at a place where I'm like, oh no, but I'm actually building it.
And you're enjoying the process.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people are just focused on the end goal.
Yeah.
I'm so guilty of that sometimes. too.
Same.
Where, you know, just
hard
like, I just
not
want to
to.
get there. I just want to get
Same.
there. And it's like, oh, hold on. Is it really about the destination or is it about the journey?
Yeah.
You know, it's so cliche.
But it's true.
But it's true.
And like
totally true.
I think by like that theme of like listening to myself, like learning to take myself seriously and not just go after the thing in spite of myself, it's like now, because a lot of my friends got pub deals when they first came out here, which is
Pub deals.
yes, like publishing deals
Publishing
as
deals.
songwriters.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, I don't know if you're talking about an Irish pub or publishing deals. Yes.
Yeah, they signed a contract to go drink every day.
Perfect.
Imagine. I know a few that.
I know. And I think that's an amazing life if you want it. But I think for me, where I do have an equal emphasis or somewhat of an equal emphasis on being a artist and a writer and wanting to approach my writing that I do for other people maybe a little more artistically and intentionally. Like I love sitting with an artist and helping them tell their story or getting a brief from like a movie or something and writing something for that. For me, the publishing deal route felt sort of like a treadmill that I didn't have control over it.
Oh, yeah.
And where I love doing those things, what I realized is I want to do them in a way that feels a little more intentional instead of getting thrown into rooms every day where I don't have any say in it. And so figuring out, I think just like the right angle for me has been really empowering. And I've now found collaborators where I'm like, oh, these are the collaborators I've been waiting for in my whole career. And I don't know if I would have found them if I was so caught up in trying to do what everybody else was doing.
Huge.
Preach.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I like that your point, like touching on not right for me and not right now and like it's so difficult to compare yourself to everybody and you're like, okay, they're doing this so I have to do that. In singing too, like if we relate this to just voice, right? Not even like a whole artist project, but just voice.
Absolutely.
I remember growing up, like I was like, okay, I love Christina Aguilera. Gotta sound just like Christina Aguilera. So I did everything I could to sound like Christina Aguilera because I was like, in my brain, if I want to see success, I need to be able to belt like Christina and do all of the stuff that Christina does, right? Pick whoever, right? Doesn't matter which example you pick, but you just hold on to this idea and then that idea is holding you back from actually seeing the success that you deserve to see.
And you're not seeing like what else you could do.
Yes.
That's not, maybe that hasn't been done before. Like what sides of your voice you haven't touched. I feel like that's what we do a lot with our students. Like we help you find your voice. But we do. Like I sometimes have to force people to completely change the genre of the song or like the rhythms because they don't know what their voice is capable of yet. And they're like, oh wait, this is cool. I didn't know I could do that. Or, you know, whatever. But same idea. Like,
absolutely.
Because you're trying to be someone else or follow someone else's path, you don't know your own.
And you might not even be doing it intentionally.
Yes.
Most of the time,
It's out of good intention and wanting to succeed and where else do you start other than copying your heroes?
Right. Yeah.
But that's such like a beautiful point. It's like, wow, I could actually find out what I do. And then that's what people might resonate with or what might resonate with me. And like, it's so much better. Yeah. Because the world doesn't need more Christinas. No. We already have one and she's fantastic.
Yeah.
But the world needs a Laura.
Yeah.
You know, like, and so it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, and it's hard. It's like a daily choice. It's a practice. But I think it's worthwhile.
You know, for me, it's interesting to hear that you say, I struggle with practicing singing. We haven't actually said that while the cameras were rolling yet, but we were talking about it before. Yet you have so much discipline. So Can we dig into that? Usually we don't talk
Please.
about that till way later, but I feel like this is a good time to talk about this. So before we started rolling the cameras, you said that practicing was difficult for you. That was kind of like your big singing question. I struggle with practicing. How can I practice more? You have such discipline. Why do you think you struggle with the discipline when it comes to vocal practice? Because I think that's, in your case, what it comes down to. It's not about the discipline of doing it.
Yeah. I think it's because like singing has always come easily to me and I can fake certain things very well. So I could get away with not putting the work in and fake it. And then maybe it's not going to be there all the time, but I could get away with not doing the work. And I know that's something that is not going to is not servicing me, and I'm not going to be able to get away with forever. So it's definitely can I like say the S word?
Yeah, you
Okay,
can swear all you want, girl.
It's
I don't give a
definitely
shit.
a place where I need to call myself on my bullshit, and
Yeah.
like it's like enough is enough.
Yeah. Well, to me, it sounds like it just, that pain point just hasn't been big enough for you yet to solve the problem, right? Because like at the end of the day, people are lazy.
Yeah.
So am I. Right?
Yeah.
Like we're all lazy. We like a comfortable life, and we only make changes when we have to.
Yeah.
So, you know, for you, singing has always come easy. So you never had to practice a lot or whatever. So you never had to build discipline in that side of your life, right? And maybe it never comes down to it where you're like, no, I can get away with it forever. Maybe not. But then that's when you're like, okay, hold on. Well, now I have to address this. And because you are so in tune with yourself and, you know, what you like and what you want, and you're breaking it down into action steps, like because you have that, I do believe that even if you hit that wall of like, well, shit, now I have to work on my voice, you will do it. We're just not there yet. The pain point isn't big enough yet.
No, I love that. And I think like there have been big times where I really did have to work to get my voice back. In high school, I really struggled with acid reflux and allergies.
Oh yeah.
And I lost my voice for 7 months.
Oh.
It was a hot mess. And so I had to go through like learning how to talk properly because I was like frying when in my speech.
Kind of like talking like this.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that with the acid reflux got me into a cycle of swelling. And then again, at the end of college, I was in a very serious car accident.
Oh my goodness.
Which left me like intubated for like 10 days.
No way.
Yeah, and in recovering from that, my voice got into a similar cycle of swelling again, and it was a few years where I didn't have like the baseline of my voice. And before that, I was just coming out of Berkeley. I worked as a professional singer, as a wedding singer for 3 years. So I was doing 70 events a year. So I was like, I was singing.
Yes.
And it took a few years, maybe 4 years before I was even at like the baseline to start building skill up again. And in 2021, I started working with a new voice teacher who he's really puts a lot of emphasis on singing athletically, and like he trains a lot of people for tour, and he helped me work to a place where I felt like, oh, I can get whatever I'm trying to get again. Yeah. And then it's just like maintaining that work. Yeah. So you're 100% right that it's like it just takes the pain point becoming big enough to then put the work in.
Yeah.
But I would love to build the habit of daily practice.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. Let's do it. Because, you know, that's like with students, like they are actively taking voice lessons. So they are taking a step, but then sometimes they still struggle with practicing, which is why I'm so excited about our new program. But we don't have to talk about that because that solves that issue. But anyways, so just action steps. Like what can we do to get into practicing? I'll let you go first.
Having a look at your weekly schedule, and this goes for you and for you, whoever's watching. we all live such different lives. So what works for me might not work for you or my aunt. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyone. If you have a 9 to 5, it's gonna be different. If you have kids, it's gonna be different. For us, since we have very flexible schedules, thankfully, we can get away with whatever. I feel like because you're such a visual person, it would help a lot, and it helps me too, to put it in your calendar, whether it's in your phone calendar,
list. You like
on
lists.
your list, on your daily
Okay.
list,
Yeah.
10-minute warm up, 15-minute, whatever. Because it feels good to check it off. Like I did it. I actually did the thing I was set out to do.
Yeah.
And I always start small. I feel like with newer students or with people that are like really busy, when I'm like, can you warm up daily? They just like immediately are like, whoa.
Yeah.
That's so much. Like, okay, let's start with 3 times a week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 minutes in the morning, you're done. Let's start with that. Then week 2, maybe add 2 minutes every day. Then add a second day. Then add and give yourself the weekend off if you wish. It's okay.
I take the weekends off. I don't sing on
Okay,
weekends.
There you go.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
Okay.
I
Amazing.
sing. Oh no, actually, I don't sing all the time. That's a lie. I do not. I barely ever sing.
No.
But I'm in music all the time. Where I'm like
Yeah.
the weekend.
No.
I mean, let's be real. I work 6 days a week, or 7 days a week sometimes, depending on the week. But when I'm not working, I'm like, no, I'm not even singing.
Yeah.
I need to
Rest.
shut the brain off and watch some TV.
Which
Yeah.
I think that is productive as well.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Because
you need to
like
rest.
as women and as people, we're cyclical, and so I think by being able to take that time to turn off, you can be on more successfully.
Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah, it's really cool because it is, like you said, like your coach used to say, like athletic singing. Is that what it is? What he said? It is a muscle.
Yeah.
And every time I'm explaining this to a student, I always relate it to an athlete. It is something that you train. It is a muscle. It's a combination of however many muscles from your core to the tip of your head. It's
Wow.
crazy how much goes into singing. So the more all of those muscles are moving, sustainably and consistently, it's just easy to jump in and out of it.
Yeah.
I had a similar thing before, what was it, like 2021 as well, maybe 2022, where I wasn't warming up daily. And I've been vocal coaching before that. And I was very much like not doing that because similar to you, it came easily. So when I wake up in the morning, I would just and just start going.
Right.
And some of my friends were like, how can you just like sing when you wake up? I'm like, I don't know. I've been singing since I gave birth. Like gave birth. Yes, I gave birth to myself. Since my mom gave birth to me. That is funny. Until I was hired to be a singer for 4 hours straight. And then I was like, oh, I need to practice. And when I started daily warm-ups, which honestly I hadn't been doing even in music school, I didn't do it. I would warm up for the lesson. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm being super honest. Now I daily warm up. It just changed completely. Like your stamina changes, your elasticity changes, the strength, everything is just like when people tell me they don't practice, and I'm like, you're doing yourself a dishonor. It's bad for you. It's so healthy to just keep that muscle moving. And like you said, I think you mentioned something like, I don't know if it's gonna be sustainable forever or something like that. If you want to be singing until you're 99 years old or older, like you have to train a muscle, right?
I
It's
know
like,
you're right.
Yeah.
I know
You
it.
have to train
I
your
know.
muscle, Rachel. In a loving way, I say that.
Well,
Thank
and
you.
just vocal maintenance takes
Yes.
training.
Yeah.
Yes. Like you don't have to
I
be
hate it.
pushing. Yeah, you don't have to work daily to like push your highest note or your longest note or do a quicker run. It's just, keeping those muscles active and working. That's important.
It is work.
Yeah.
Is what it comes down to. Like, I wish we could all just wave a magic wand and be like, "Ya-da-da, I sing forever and beautiful and it's amazing. It is work, and we have to sometimes look at it as work too, and not just as I love singing.
Yeah.
It is a little bit of work. Obviously, it's fun, right?
So
I'm not
fun.
gonna be like, you're gonna hate singing forever. Like, no. It is fun, but we have to look at it as a little bit of work. So for me, I struggled with practicing my entire life. Also, something that came easy to me in the beginning. Certain parts, not everything. Like, could not sing high at all. Didn't know
Okay.
the head voice existed. Like, oh my God. So, had to practice for that and work hard on that. But just singing in general, would come easily. So I didn't practice that much, honestly. And then when I went vocal coaching full time and the business just kind of blew up, I was like, now I have zero time to focus on my own voice. So I wouldn't even warm up for lessons that I was teaching, right? I would just like go in cold, and then it was a bad cycle. And my voice just got worse and worse and worse. I lost a lot of range, and my voice would get really heavy and stiff, and it was just not a good time. So I enrolled myself in voice lessons again, and that changed everything. But even then, I was struggling with practicing because I was busy, just like everybody else too. So the biggest change for me was making vocal tracks for me, like exercise tracks.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, I would do an exercise with my teacher in a lesson, and you know, because it's online over Zoom, they're all recorded, so I can just look at the recording after, like, okay, I like this exercise, and because I know how to create tracks, I just made vocal exercise tracks for myself. And so every morning I just go through my list, and I'm like, that one, while I'm answering emails, or
Beautiful.
even if it's just like 10 minutes of I'm sitting there and I'm practicing. That's how I can get my vocal practice in. If I have to get up from my desk and go to the other room to go sit down at the piano and then be like, okay, what scale do I want to do? It's not happening. It's just not happening. There's too much
Brain power.
thought.
Yeah.
Yes. Too much brain power that goes into just starting.
Yeah.
Right? Like, what should I do today? And so I just made these tracks, and I have an entire library of tracks, and I just go through them. And I created tracks for our students as well, because it's really difficult for
I
most
use them.
people. You do?
I love them.
Oh, thank you.
That's so fun.
Yeah, that's
I
perfect.
love them.
It makes it so much easier to do it. We
Yes.
just want to remove that barrier of entry.
Yeah.
And make it as easy as possible to start. And for me, that's pressing play. I can press play.
Easy.
I'm like, I need to get some of those.
Follow along.
I got you, girl. Let me hook you up. I'm your dealer now.
Oh, I love it.
It's so fun. Obviously, like it depends on you know what you're trying to work on. If it's like just like breathing, like core engagement management, or like runs or belting, whatever. Obviously, but even if it's just an overall range practice, like that will go a long
way.
A long way.
Yes. Anything is better than nothing. Like sometimes it doesn't, I tell that to our students all the time. Sometimes it doesn't even really matter what you do, just as long as you do something.
Yeah.
And use your whole range and go from there. Like that is going to make a big difference, especially in the beginning.
Yes.
Right?
And a big thing, and I think I only really started being conscious about it was when I started working with you, was cooling down, not just warming up. I never cool down, ever.
Neither did I at first,
And it
until I
makes
did.
such a difference.
It does.
It's crazy. Even
And it doesn't have to be anything
like
complicated.
2 minutes.
5 minutes. Yeah, 2 minutes. 2 minutes is plenty. Like when you're packing up after a gig, just
Yeah.
that. Easy.
Yeah.
It doesn't
I'm
need
like,
to be anything
I
crazy.
need to get on that.
it's
That's
It's
so
just-
smart.
It's a habit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? And creating new habits is more difficult than you. And that's why New Year's resolutions is something that fails for a lot of people
Yeah.
because it's not a habit, and they set these crazy goals for themselves from the beginning, and then they fail at it. And then they're like, "Ah, it's not for me. And then they stop. Right?
Yeah.
So break it down into small things that you can do. And I got you, girl. I'll hook you up with my
Okay,
tracks.
thank you.
And then from there, you can see like, oh, I really like this. I really like that. And oh, this is challenging. I want to spend more time on this. And then you can, create your own experience, your own vocal practice from there. And we have to record an episode on just how to practice with tracks.
Yeah.
I don't want to dig deeper into this now because otherwise we'll be here in 3 hours. There's a way to practice with tracks because you don't just want to press play and go and that's it. Like, I mean, you can, and that's obviously still, again, better than nothing. But we want to be smart with how we're using these tracks. Very intentional. So I'll record an episode on that. And I'll send it to you.
Okay, perfect.
Coming to you soon.
Coming to you soon. There you go. Does that help with practicing?
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm so excited to like think about it more and just start building the habit because I know it's gonna like help everything. Juliana, you said something about doing yourself a disservice.
Yes.
And I'm like, I especially when I was younger, I always had this feeling of like letting myself down because I knew I could do all these amazing things, but because of not being prepared, I would not be able to show how amazing I was. Yeah. And I'd be like, but I know I can do it. And so I really know that like building that habit of practice is gonna like help me be able to fully do what I know I can do consistently. Yeah. And so as I'm like going into, I want to tour at the end of this year with this album that's coming, and I want like I know it's gonna be like of great importance. So I'm excited, and I can't wait to listen to those tracks.
Well, and it's great that you're thinking about this now. If you want to go on tour by the end of the year, it takes time to build these muscles. Yeah. I always love it when people come to us for a lesson and they're like, so I have an audition tomorrow. Oh, yeah. I'm like, love that. Let me help you. I'm happy to help you. But also, next time, can you please come to me months in advance? Yeah. Because that's really what it takes to fully prepare for what it is you're doing. So it's great to not wait till you hit that pain point. Yeah. But rather do preemptive. Is that the word you're looking for? Yeah. Yeah. Just do the work before. Yeah. So that you never run into that pain point. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're working for your future self. Yeah. And at the same time, honoring your younger self.
Oh my God, Juliana is full
These
of
are
wisdom.
words to live by.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to be like this in every lesson. I feel like it gives me so much power.
Yes.
I like the setup.
Have a microphone in front of you.
We can hook
add
you
it to
up.
the Amazon list.
Yes. Yes. I love it.
Can I ask about this album?
Please.
Can you tell us a little bit about it? What's the theme? What's the storyline? Like, when is it coming?
It's called Woman Misbehaving. And
I really love it.
Thank you.
Done. Subscribed.
Yes.
Woman Misbehaving is a song that I wrote at the end of last year. And I had this experience where there were these two male like producers who were trying to convince me to take a bad deal. And they were like, but we brought you this opportunity. And it was like a song that I had written 100% of. And they were trying to get me to sign over 66% of the rights. And they were just like berating me. And after that conversation, I was like, hell no. And I wrote this song about like picking myself and about like I lit a match, I found a bridge and I burned it down. Like, and sometimes you have to not be the nice girl who says yes to everything. My last album was a concept album about grief, and that was necessary for my life. But this is just like totally moved forward. It's just like a good time. It is Woman Misbehaving. It is like disco songs.
Whoa,
it is like it is like you take Donna Summer and Fleetwood Mac, and they have a baby, and it's Women Misbehaving.
And it's Rachel Siegel.
Okay.
And so I'm really excited about like what I'm making
you
right now.
You are exciting us, so yes.
Okay.
Yes, you are exciting and excited.
Exactly. Okay, thank you.
You know, just social norms, it's kind of sad that you standing up for yourself and doing what's right for you makes the title Woman Misbehaving. I'm like, come on, it's woman behaving.
Yes,
exactly. You're doing what's right for you. But like,
thank you.
It totally makes sense what you're saying. So I can't wait to hear the whole record.
Thank you.
My goodness.
This album is just like a deeper level of like me figuring out who I am and doing things my own way. And like we're recording it like at least half or more like analog, and it's so fun to just like play real instruments and be in the room creating real music. I love doing electronic music, but it's like just really fun to give myself this experience and work with people who maybe have a little bit more of a musician-y background, like in jazz and like, but then also make commercial music. So it's feeling like like a little bit more of like a tangible experience or like a heartfelt, like wholesome experience. And that is making me come alive. So hopefully it will make you guys come alive too.
Oh, I'm
as
sure.
you listen.
The artist's energy translates and like infects us. Because if you're not excited about it, then your audience is not going to be really excited about it either. But if you're super excited about it, then we can be excited about it too. We didn't do a vocal warm-up yet, right? Did we?
No.
Okay, because I was like, we did something, but did we do it?
But I would love to sing with you
guys.
So I would love that.
Yes. Are you up for it?
I would love
do a little
it.
vocal warm-up.
Please.
And then we'll look at a little something that you can sing for us.
Okay.
And we'll talk about that. Sound good?
Fantastic. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Ooh.
Na 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 na
Na
Na na na
na na na
na na na na
na
na
na
na na na na na na na.
Okay, let's keep going. Do you want to try, Rachel? You're songwriter too.
Na
Na na na na
na na na na
na na na
na na na. Sorry.
I love it.
Na 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 na
Na na na na na na.
da da ba ba
Da da ba ba.
da 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 da
Da da da da.
da da da.
Da da da.
That's fun.
So fun.
I was like, I didn't know how long it was gonna be.
I know, like, where are we
No,
going?
this is perfect. This is perfect. I never know how long to go either. But this is so fun, and it's so interesting every time. Like, usually I'm the one leading these, so I love not being the person leading because I get to hear where your beautiful creative brains are going. You both were just perfectly in key for the entire, like, there was a key for the entire thing. When I do it, I go all over the place, and it's just like, it's not within a certain key, so it can sometimes sound off key, but there is no key, so I
Right.
can't sound off key. Anyways,
Yeah,
so I
but
love
that's
it.
actually so fun too because it's like it's more like it makes you think. Like it's more challenging and you have to really focus.
Yeah, and sometimes I don't do it on purpose. And I'm like, well, that didn't come out the way I wanted it to, but hey, it doesn't matter.
Here we
Nobody needs to
go.
know.
Exactly. It's part of it. It's fun.
Yes, it's hard to just make stuff up on the spot, isn't
Yeah.
it?
I think it's very fun.
It is fun.
I think so
It is
too.
a little like, like I'm on the spot, but once
Yeah.
you're in it, it's like, oh no, it's playing.
It's playing.
Yeah.
It's very playful.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, Miss Rachel, do you want to sing a little something for us?
Yes. What should I sing?
Anything
Could
you
you
want.
give us a little sneak?
Oh my gosh. Well, Women Misbehaving is like nice girls get far when they follow their hearts, but don't let it be too loud. They say, follow your dreams, but don't make a scene. You'll be fine where you are. I haven't warmed up yet. And all I'm trying to tell you is there's no good in our relationship if we're both scared to make a mess right now. So I lit a match, I found a bridge, I burned it down. I said a thing I couldn't say, I let it out. And I know you're trying to save me from a bad reputation, but truth was meant to be found. I lit a match, I found a bridge, I burned it down. I'm a woman misbehaving.
Yes!
I love that song.
I'm like,
Oh, that's so cool.
thank you.
I can't wait.
I'm like, I should warm up before I sing that song next time.
Oh, it's super
Because
high.
it's
I'm
so
like,
fun, but it's high.
Ooh, I don't know what note that is because I don't got
Rangy.
perfect pitch.
Me neither.
Me
But
neither.
It's high.
It's a little high.
Yeah.
It's like one of those songs where you like have to like approach it correctly to sing it. Which is like when I'm in my writing, sometimes I like to write challenging things that are challenging concepts because then it kind of mimics each other, that it's like you have to really be in it to sing it because it's not a relaxed thing. It's like an effort. So I like that, but singing it without warming up.
It's hard.
Challenge.
It is a challenge, but it sounded awesome. I love the
Thank
writing
you.
of it too. It's
So cool.
It's super catchy. It's very
She's
good.
just a really good writer. This
Thank
one.
you guys.
Well, who would have thought? It's not like she had a top 6 Billboard chart.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Thanks, guys.
That's awesome. So, besides like those high notes, being like, oh my God, I need to warm up for these.
yeah.
How did it feel?
Good. The first part, like the verse, that feels like easy, but I think then going into the pre-chorus, I don't know if the placement of it was like the best.
Okay.
Like I think pre-chorus and chorus, I could place that to sing it like to feel more solid in the way I'm singing it.
Yeah. Do you want to workshop it a little bit?
I would love that.
Yes.
Oh my
let's
gosh.
do it. Let's do
Okay.
it. So, do you want to go straight into that pre-chorus?
And all I'm trying to tell you is there's no good in our relationship if we were scared to make a mess right now. So I lit a match.
And then that's
Yeah,
the
that's the
chorus.
chorus.
So I lit a match. Okay. I got something.
You start.
Okay.
I feel like you got it in your tongue. Let's
Okay. So just for me, the first thing I usually do is like try and identify any sort of tension that might be holding you back. So just looking at you, because I got your beautiful face right in front of me, I can see it. Your jaw likes to when you're dropping your jaw, it goes sideways.
Yeah.
Do you also see it?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, your jaw goes a little sideways down into this way.
Right.
Yeah, down into to your right when you're dropping your jaw, when you're hitting higher beltier notes.
Yeah.
You don't do it otherwise. So it's your jaw is trying to like figure out, okay, how can I help you to get you up to that note?
Like making more space for that, right?
Yeah, the brain's weird sometimes and it does weird things.
It does
but
things.
It could be for space. It
Yeah.
could be for it. You'd never know. And a lot of times it's holding you back, right? It's adding all this tension. So can you try singing the same thing while just pushing in here? So up here's your cheekbone, down here's your jawbone, in between, all the way by your ears, just a little bit further back. Yeah, right there. So if you push in here and you drop your jaw, you should feel that muscle push against your hands. Yeah, feel that muscle right there. Yeah. So this is just gonna help you guide your jaw straight down rather than down and to the right.
Okay, cool.
So can you try that pre-chorus again while just pushing in here?
And all I'm trying to tell you is there's no good in a relationship if we were scared to make a mess right now. So I lit a match, I found a bridge, I burned it down. I said a thing I couldn't say, I let it out. Am I singing it in a lower key?
You lowered it a little bit,
I
but
do.
your jaw is
It's
going
better.
down.
And I know you're trying to save me from a bad reputation, but truth was meant to be found. I lit a match, I found a bridge, I burned it down. I'm a woman misbehaving.
I'm a woman. Yeah, so we are just a little bit lower
lower.
Yeah.
than where we were before. Yeah.
And,
think you're
and
okay.
I know you're trying to save me from a bad
Okay, right there.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of mouth movement happening. Boring face. Give me the most boring face you can. I'm a woman misbehaving. I'm a woman misbehaving. See the difference in my face? Give me the most boring face you got.
I'm a woman misbehaving.
Okay, one more time.
I'm a woman misbehaving.
Great. Can you relax your forehead?
Yeah. How do I relax my forehead?
You can put a hand up here.
I'm a woman misbehaving.
That was nice. How did that feel?
Good. It feels like more inside me. Like instead of like I feel like maybe there's room to project it more outwardly, but I feel like I'm not focusing on my lip motion. Like it feels like the sound's actually like focused.
Yeah. That was a
that's
crystal
cool.
clear sound. That
Yeah.
was really
Strong.
good.
Thank you.
Strong. So, yeah. So, okay. We're all pointing.
The Spider-Man
So,
meme. Love that.
you said, I feel like that, like I could project more, and you said it's
How
strong.
Mm.
So, there's
Cool.
a difference between strength and volume. we got these beautiful things right here. We don't need to be loud.
That's
They
cool.
do the work for us.
Wow.
We just want to get the tone, the strength right.
I love that.
And then the microphone's going to do the rest of the work for you.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
That sounded really good to me. And I know it's so interesting because one of the things you're like, no, like this is a challenging song to sing, and like the story of the song too, it's like, no, like I need to work for it. And I get it and I love it. Don't work harder than you have to, though.
Totally. And it shouldn't be hard to sing.
That's the
It
thing.
shouldn't be hard
We
to
want
sing.
it to feel like it's hard, not physically feel like it's hard, but we want to make people feel like this is like
Yeah.
we're getting after it, right? Like this is so hard.
Yeah.
But it should feel physically. Yes.
Cool.
Yes. Try the whole chorus there one more time, like the pre-chorus leading into the chorus, with just that boring face in mind. Relax those eyebrows. Wherever you want to hold.
I lit a match, I found a bridge, I burned it down. I said a thing I couldn't say, I laid it out. And I know you're trying to save me from a bad reputation, but truth was meant to be found. I lit a match, I found a bridge, I burned it down. I'm a woman misbehaving.
Okay, what's that? The da-da-da-da-da-da, but not the woman misbehaving lyric, the other one.
I lit a match.
And I know you're trying to.
Oh, and I know you're trying to save me from a bad reputation.
Okay, and I know you're going to save me from a bad reputation. Okay.
Yeah.
Last time you did it there, you switched more into a headier place. Is that what you want to do, or do we want to make it stronger?
I think maybe more of like a mixed place, like so a
Mixed
little
place.
stronger.
Yeah, a little stronger. Okay.
Yeah.
And I know you're trying to save me from a bad reputation. Apple.
Oh.
More brighter, like twangier.
A little. No?
Yeah.
Maybe?
It's a mental thing for her, though. You so got those notes. It's not a problem. You're just like, and here comes the high note.
Yeah.
Right? Can you kind of like do this? And I know you're trying to save me from a bad reputation. Oh my God, that already feels so much easier. Just kind of like moving your upper body.
And I know you're trying to save me from a bad reputation,
Do it
but
again.
and I know you're trying to save me from a bad reputation, but truth was meant to be found.
Great. Can you do more just in your neck?
And I know you're trying to save me from a bad reputation, but truth was meant to be found. I lit a match, I found a bridge, I burned it down. It's so much easier.
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, you burnt that bridge, baby.
Okay.
Yes,
I'm
you
like,
did.
okay, who is she?
Yeah.
Cool.
But see, like to me, in my ears, I'm like, yeah, that's not loud, but it is strong.
And it doesn't, like, because I know so much comes down to how much tension I'm holding.
Yeah.
And that feels easy. That doesn't feel tense. That feels like, oh, she could
Nice.
sing that all day.
Yes, girl.
No,
Yes,
that's
you
how
can.
we want to feel.
Okay, guys. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's the movement helps you, like, it gives your brain something else to do, so we can't hyper focus on that thing. Movement in general is kind of like a tension killer. It's the enemy of tension. So if you can move a little something, however, because when you were shaking your shoulders and your head, it was kind of this.
Yeah.
You know, and that created tension in your shoulders. So it's like, okay, hold on, let's drop the shoulders. Let's just look side to side so that your neck can feel free. And I know you're gonna save me, rather than, and I know you, and I know you're gonna save me from a bad reputation. It can just,
Yeah.
flow a little more. Again, for you got the notes.
Yeah.
It's not the problem at all. It was the mind, the beautiful mind.
Which I think is what, like, so many things come down to.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's like, it's a mental game every day.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Singing is 90% mental. Life is 90% mental.
Say that again.
Life is 90% mental.
Louder for the people in the back.
Okay, hold on.
Life is 90% mental.
That's
Life is 90% mental.
Life is 90% mental.
Ah! Incredible.
Isn't it awesome?
Sorry for screaming. It's cute. Wait, can I sing it one more time to see if I can maintain
Yes,
it?
please.
Okay.
Bless us.
And I know you're trying to save me from a bad reputation, but truth was meant to be found. I lit a match, I found a bridge, I burned it down. I'm a woman misbehaving.
Yeah, and it's the same thing there, right?
Cool.
And if you just can't get out of your head, it's literally all that, right? Just shaky, 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 shaky. Whatever movement feels good to
Yeah.
you. And then,
Cool.
And then you got it.
Thank
That
you.
was really good.
Yeah, one thing one of my teachers back in music school used to make me do. I am also a very mental singer. I'm a mental singer. So sometimes even if I'm doing like my first thought, funny enough, when she was like not fully in mix but more heady, I thought apple, because for us that's a Lara term. It's lifting. So you go into your mix a little bit more and you drop your jaw, so it's as if you were biting an apple, right? So that helps a lot of people because it's a physical thing. But if you're up here, it might not do much, so that movement helps a lot. And then sometimes because we start doing something and we're thinking about doing that something, then it becomes another thing to do.
Yeah.
So my teacher made me like sing like this and move.
No way.
Which is really hard to
Arms
do. Right.
overhead.
And I was like, huh. But then you're like struggling so much that your voice is just like, oh, and it just comes out.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Cool.
Yeah. Sometimes I would even sing like swaying my arms. Like I would like be standing.
Oh, yeah.
And down fully and just like sway. And I would have to sing at the top of my lungs.
I sure have done that
There's
too.
a lot of things you could try.
Yeah. Here I was just like, well, what can we do
Sitting
in a
down.
chair?
Yeah.
You know?
That's comfortable.
But
yeah.
if you can sing it in a chair, you can sing it anywhere.
Anywhere.
There you go.
Oh, that rhymes. If you can sing it in a chair, you can sing it anywhere.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yes, yeah. There... Songwriter over
New
here.
catchphrase.
Yes, if you can sing it in a chair, you can sing it anywhere. We
I
should
like
print that on
it.
t-shirts.
We totally should.
Going back to what you said, the apple versus the head thing.
Yeah.
It does the same thing, just a different approach to getting to the same result. And for some people, we want to approach it more of like, okay, here, let's try the apple. And for other people, it's more like, hold on, let go of it, let go of
Yeah.
it. You know, just sing, stop thinking about it.
Yeah.
And incorporating movement helps with that. So it just depends on what resonates more with you. And if we don't know you, we've never worked with you, that sometimes takes time for us to figure out, like,
Yes.
well, what clicks with you.
Yes.
I'm just glad that we were able to find it.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
So good. You're
I
so
love
welcome.
that.
I love it. Do we want to play a quick little game, a little one breath challenge? You're just picking a song from that little box of yours. Hopefully you know it. And then there's just some lyrics on there where it's like, how long can you go?
My loneliness is killing me, and I must confess, I still believe when I'm not with you.
I'll lose my mind. Yay.
Okay.
It's
love
hard.
That is hard.
Isn't it?
And I know, 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 I know.
Yay.
It's hard. It's hard.
I suck at one breath challenges, so let me try. But I'm a creep. I'm a weirdo. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. I don't belong here. I wanted to go, I don't belong here, but I couldn't reach the note anymore without any of that breath. I was like, nope.
That was so good.
Well, and also so depends on the key
Yes.
that you pick. Because if I'm going, I'm a creep, it's much, like I will run out of breath a lot faster than if I'm going a little bit lower on purpose. So, you know. Anyways, that was fun. Let's do maybe one all together.
Sure.
Ooh, yeah.
And see who can go for the longest. I want to dance with somebody, Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
My gosh.
What key?
do it.
Somebody pick a key.
I
Oh,
can
I want to dance with somebody.
right.
Oh, is that okay?
do. Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
I just
ma'am.
jumped in.
No, you got it.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
oh. One.
Oh, I want to dance with somebody. I want to feel the heat with somebody. Yeah, I want to dance with somebody. With
Somebody who loves me. so fun.
So
Thank
much fun.
you so much for being here. Please let us know, where can we find your stuff?
Well, thank you so much again for having me. This was a blast.
Yay.
You guys are lucky to have the best teachers in the world. Just saying.
Wow, in the world.
In the world, we are the best. It's just a fact.
It's just a fact. It was so nice to meet you. My name is Rachel Siegel, and you can find me on all platforms at Rachel, Siegel, Rachel Siegel. And you can follow me on Instagram at rachel.m.siegel. I'm also on TikTok at rachel.m.siegelmusic, and all things Rachel Siegel are at rachelsiegelmusic.com. There are so many things coming this year, and I would love to have you along for the journey.
Thank you so much. I'll be sure to include those links in the episode notes and on YouTube and all the places, so that people can find you with just one click. Beautiful. And thank you again so much for being here, for sharing your beautiful voice with us, for sharing your wisdom with us on, how to be authentic to yourself, how to find yourself, and how not to, get distracted by what other people are doing. I think that's so powerful. So thank you so much for being here. And we got to do this again sometime.
Yes.
I would love that. This was so much fun. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thanks for everybody watching, and we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.